In the deep dive tonight, new video obtained by 7 News shows some of the arrests that were made during a massive 2-week ICE operation across Virginia and Maryland.
More than 1,300 illegal immigrants were taken into custody. But tonight, we're looking beyond the arrest at how this operation and the debate over local cooperation could shape immigration enforcement going forward.
7 News reporter Cassie Sherm looks at how this sweep could help shape the next generation and the next chapter, of immigration enforcement policy all across our region. Cassie?
That's right. So ICE agents made 100 arrests a day for 2 weeks straight across the Maryland, Virginia area. Now we have an inside look at behind the scenes through those videos that could also help shape policy in the coming days. A chase through the street, agents closing in, then handcuffs. New video obtained by 7 News shows arrests during Operation Safe Community. DHS says ICE arrested 1,300 people across Virginia and Maryland. Almost 400 had either been convicted or charged with crimes in the United States. Among those highlighted were a man wanted on a Richmond murder warrant, 2 alleged MS-13 members, and people convicted of kidnapping, sexual battery, robbery, and drunk driving.
It's a significant undertaking. To be able to pull something like that off. There's not just in terms of manpower, but also logistics.
Doug Gilmore, a former DHS and HSI official, says a lot of time goes into these operations.
Not only to locate the people, but to kind of establish a pattern of life and to figure out where they can best interdict or where they can best find those individuals.
But how ICE carries out those arrests is also part of a long-running fight over local cooperation. DHS says agents made the arrest despite what it calls sanctuary policies. The agency has also criticized jurisdictions in our region, including Fairfax and Montgomery counties, over limits on cooperation with ICE.
When you don't have that cooperation, unfortunately, it makes the job of our agents and our partners that much more difficult. And I think ultimately it puts the public at greater risk.
The sheer number of arrests is also drawing scrutiny. Maryland Governor Wes Moore says he supports removing violent offenders, but is questioning who else was swept up in the broader operation and how. And that question could become one of the biggest policy issues to come out of this sweep.
Sort of taken center stage in our immigration debates and our immigration conversations. And I think that how, where, and who ICE is carrying out enforcement operations is a huge part of the policy conversation right now.
Now, DHS has not released the 900 names of people who were arrested, but not had original charges here in the U.S. And so we're going to be following that very closely. Reporting here in Arlington, I'm Cassie Sherm, 7 News.
Cassie, thank you. Now, Operation Safe Community was ongoing when this tense encounter with ICE in Falls Church, Virginia went viral. It happened on August 10th. A Virginia woman says she was driving to an immigration lawyer's offices to hand out counseling business cards when she saw ICE agents making arrests. And she says she yelled at them, and that's when the situation took a turn.
You're a hoe. You're f***ed up.
Yeah, you recorded us. You almost ran us over.
I didn't almost
You
run
almost
over.
ran us over.
All right, you saw the officer there pull out his gun and accuse the woman of trying to run them over, and DHS insisted and backed up those claims. However, the woman, she says she's innocent, and as a result, she was not arrested. Now, we reached out to DHS to see if these officers were in Falls Church that day for Operation Safe Community. They didn't directly answer, and instead they referred us to their press release on the major bust. In that release, the agency said, quote, "Our officers are the best in the world at finding people who do not want to be located." That is exactly what we did throughout the course of this operation, removing these criminal alien offenders from Virginia and Maryland neighborhoods makes for much safer communities. Now, we're also learning that the Trump administration is working right now to revoke visas from potentially hundreds of thousands of asylum seekers. The new action targets people who entered the U.S. on short-term visas issued for things like tourism and business and education. Now, that's different from people who declare their intention to seek asylum upon entry. They are legally protected against deportation, but do not hold visas. Earlier this year, officials started asking visa applicants if they experienced or feared mistreatment in their home countries. They have to answer no before they can get visas.